All right, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to another live. This month is all about wealth and expansion live series. If this is your first time here, I am Denetra Johnson, also known as the House Dealer. I'm a Metro Detroit realtor and investor, and I use this platform to bring real conversation and real resources to people who want to build wealth. Each week, I'm bringing on experts who actually are in the field. And tonight, we're talking about building income streams in different ways. And I've got a special guest who is really doing her thing. I am joined by Danielle Poppy Smith. She's
Whoa.
a realtor and event space owner of First Class Event Suites on the east side of Detroit, and also the founder of a nonprofit, the Andre Seldom Foundation, inspired by her son. And she's built multiple streams of income while also making an impact. So, y'all tap in, get your questions ready, and welcome Poppy to the live.
Thanks, Denetra, so much for that introduction. I thought I was
No,
going to do it, but you did it very well. And thanks for having me. Thanks for thinking of me. And I'm excited to do it.
no
I don't
problem.
like being on here, but I'm going to do it for you since you reached out.
I know. What was I say? So I know I did a little introduction or whatever, but you can still introduce yourself. Tell us
I
about how you got
mean,
it started.
you pretty much introduced me. I'm an entrepreneur. So me and Denetra met in real estate. So I'm a
Mhm.
realtor. I'm an event space owner. And like you said, I'm a nonprofit founder and I'm a boy mom. So I always want to say that too, because that's a big part of my life, my kids. And I got started with this in decorating. Like I was originally an event planner, decorator since 2013.
Mm.
So in that industry, you are going into other people's spaces, you're decorating, you know what I'm saying? Like you're setting up their spaces or whatever your client may find. And so after so long of doing that, I want my own space because sometimes some of the halls didn't fit my vision for you know what I'm saying? For like the event. It just, I wouldn't even post pictures a lot of times. It's just like whatever. So I started getting to a point where I wanted to just have a space to be able to offer to my clients.
So how was it when finding a space?
For me, finding a space, I literally was riding around. I was like on LinkedIn. I was like looking on commercial places like that. And I would call, ask ask about their requirements and things like that. This spot right here, literally, it was crazy because nobody had been in these buildings for a long time. And my landlord, he purchased it, and I was like, somebody else owned it and was never answering the phone. And it's like the first day that he kind of got his stuff situated to be able to answer the phone and get. I was the first person he had talked to, so it was
No,
like,
that's up.
and there was nothing in here, so it was like empty. I'm like, I want it. Like it just, I
Mhm.
couldn't walk away from it when I walked in here. It was random. He just randomly called me. I was randomly around the corner, and I'm like, I'm about to pull up. And I seen it, and I was the only person that had saw it, and that was it.
Well,
Like,
that
like
was
of course,
God.
that was like for this space, that was God. You know what I mean? Like, and that's why I'm like, it's different for everybody. The process of getting a space is not going to be exactly the same, but for me, it was just literally like I manifested it. Really, you know what I'm saying? I wrote about it, I talked about it, prayed about it. I was talking to other people. I did a mentorship. I was in like groups. So I just was like learning about it because I was already in the industry, and I'm like, this is what I want to do, and then I just did it.
Okay, okay. So when you got started, do you think that did it take a lot of money to start, or did you do it in creative ways to get in?
It definitely took a lot of money. I feel like it's gonna be. I can't put a dollar amount on it because it's different ways to get in. Like you can purchase a building, you can lease a building. Some venues may just sell the whole venue, so now all you got to do is just get in there. So it's the entry amount is going to be different. But at the end of the day, to open an event space, you do need to have some money. I'm not talking about $5,000. You know what I'm saying? Like
Okay.
you need to have some thousands, 25 up. You know what I'm saying? Like, but there are creative ways. You can utilize business credit. You can get angel investors, or you know what I mean. Like for me, I didn't have a lot of upfront costs because I was already in the industry. So like I was
Mhm.
already renting tables and chairs. So like I didn't need to buy those for my hall. But I did need to do everything else in here because there was nothing in here. So I had to have the money for that. But it's different creative ways to do it. But you definitely have to have some money, period, and credit.
But you do gotta, you gotta have all of that. You do that does come with all of that. Them
Yes.
chairs and tables
Right.
and
Like so you have to have this, you have to have trash cans and mops and brooms and you know what I'm saying? Like you gotta think about like not just the space, filling the space, what you're gonna have to offer, you know.
hmm
So and then it's different. You can go big or you can go small. Like the small spaces are cool. You may have a kitchen. That's a whole nother ball game. Like I don't want to
hmm
go into that. So um it just depends.
Okay, so what are some different ways you've been able to create income through your space?
So, I mean, the basic way, like everybody's booking events. How, but I also, for a couple of years, we had a dance team in here, and so they would be here on the slow days, which is during the week, Tuesdays through Thursdays. So this was a dance studio, and and that was on a monthly basis, and that was for a couple of years. So that was a good, a good income. And then I have my own events. So I have events twice a month. We have R&B Monday here. We're about to have one
Mhm.
on this Monday. It'll be from 6:30 to 10 if y'all want to come. But that generates money, you know what I'm saying, as well as leads. So the people that come in here, like people that's here, they tell people about the hall. They book the hall. So like just having it available, yeah, we make some money, but it's also like it generate leads for me and for the DJ and for the chef. So
Mm.
those was a couple ways for me that I've been able to bring in some extra income.
And you said you had your space for how long?
So it'll be 5 years in August.
Okay, okay, congrats, congrats. That's still
Yeah, it'll
big.
be 5 years in August. Man, I'm like, I'm
That's a
still
big
here.
deal because I've
It
been
is.
seeing people come and go out of the industry. Like they'll have a
Oh,
space and then they'll be gone, a building be back
yeah.
up. So it's good.
Yes, I seen a lot of people. It's like when I was starting, and then I had another friend that we was kind of like on the same little journey. She was doing classes, I was doing class. We both kind of opened our space. She just closed last year, but like we seen so many people come, like open a bunch of spaces, like after that, and they closed so soon. It's like they just opened and
Mhm.
closed of them. So
Yeah.
it's like, but I'm grateful, still here, 5 years, and
Yes. Because you got to do a lot of marketing and stuff. You got to put yourself out here because it's like, there's so many
yes.
people out here doing it. So,
It is. And so I think for me, it wasn't like getting in was kind of easy because this was 5 years ago. I was doing events for all them years. So I kind of like had a client base already. So it was not hard for me to start booking events when I first opened my event because I was already in that industry. So people was already calling me for halls because they calling me to decorate. I got my own hall
mhm.
now. So I was able to get a lot of, you know what I'm saying, like bookings in that first year. Like I had events booked before. I even had floor down.
That-
Like they was like in.
That's
So
what's up.
so being in the industry, I think that was the factor. Like people don't take that into account. They think it's just so easy. Like you got a hall, everybody gonna need a hall, but you have to be visible. People got to know you're there. People got to know. You know what I'm saying? You got to really put yourself out there.
What's something people don't tell you about, having an event space? Like
But
some.
sometimes you're not gonna make no money, or like or like for real, or sometimes the expenses gonna outweigh the revenue that you bring in. Like nobody told
Mhm,
me that part of it, or that if you're not, you're gonna need to become a good money manager because some
mhm,
days you might get a lot of money coming in. Like it's possible, like you can generate a lot of money in a day doing event spaces and events, but you better manage it. You
mhm.
can't spend it as fast as you got it. Like, and if you don't, the lights might be off, or you know what I'm saying. Like, it's you gotta become a good money manager. That's a part of it. You do.
Now, were you working before you transferred over to doing event spaces full time?
So I always like when I decorate events, I always worked and decorated, and I just was just it was a disaster. I used to be
Mhm,
so busy on the weekends doing events, and then the pandemic. What was that? 2020? When was the pandemic? 2020. Yes, I
mhm,
remember. I
mhm,
started working in July of 2020. And it's like, I swear that when I started working at Denetra, my business like took off. So like I took a leave from my job. I wasn't like, oh, I'm about to quit. I took a leave thinking they was going to pay me. They never paid me. And I was just like, when September came, I never went back. So
mhm.
and then the next year I opened my hall and
That's
I
what's up.
never got another job. So like, I really stepped out on faith. Like it was
Yeah.
it was crazy. It was. I didn't prepare. So I don't suggest that to people. Like don't just make that decision like I did. Like I did have some money saved, I had some, 401k stuff like that, but I just wasn't prepared. But I knew that if I went back to work, my business was going to take a back seat to my job. You know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
I was going to have to scale back. Like ultimately, I was going to have to just wasn't gonna be able to keep maneuvering. And I was at that time, my business was booming, and I was literally in my head planning for this event
Mhm.
space I didn't know I was gonna have. Like I was building business credit during that time, like during the pandemic. I was ordering stuff for the hall that I didn't even know I was. I mean, I said I didn't have the money at that time. I didn't have the space. It was just like I knew I wanted it, so I was just in that mode, and it just worked out. The next year, it just happened.
Look, everything be falling into place.
No, for real. And I put that thing on my vision board for years. It used to be my first name for it was going to be, because at first I wanted to be a small space. This is like COVID time. So I'm like, it's
Mhm.
going to be a small little spot. It was going to be Sweet 515,
Mhm.
not the name. So I still kept the sweet, but I dropped 515, and it ain't little. So it just,
Uh-huh.
it's still, but that was on my vision board. I remember that being on my vision board for like 2019. So I just put it out there.
What's up? Somebody in the comments said, where did you take your mentorship at and with who?"
So Brian, I want to say Waldron is his name. He was an event space owner. He was based like out of New York, and he may still be doing like trainings and stuff. And he was able to scale from it. And at that time, he was doing like a lot of lives and free mentorship. So I did it through him. He had offered like like a assistant service for a period of time. So I did it with him. And then I don't know, when I first was starting out, what was her name? Dominique. She had a space. I cannot Simply Social. She used to
Mhm.
do like some little classes. Would go to them, or whatever too. But you just gotta find somebody. You gotta find I didn't know him. I don't know. I stumbled
Would
upon him because
you
this
would
you
you
know
be
this.
open to mentoring people?
I would if they're serious, but like I'm a mentor. I'm not a hand holder. Like you got to do your
Uh-huh.
work. You have to do your work, but I don't mind. Like I am like open to it. Like I don't mind.
That'll be good for real.
I would though. Like I could definitely, get some resources and some information. Like I mean, I've been doing it, right? I'm still doing
Uh-huh.
it.
I was about to say, see some classes or some Zooms or something.
um,
Yeah.
I have to think about that because too. Another thing, I felt like that is what was happening when I first started. It was like they was boosting this event space industry, and everybody was just jumping in.
Hmm.
And I didn't want to generate that type of, you know what I'm saying? Like people got to be serious. They got to really want it. Like I don't want people to see this as just a cash cow industry. Like no, it's you just as many events you book. You get your expenses go up with the event, so you have to take that into account. So some people rush in like, oh, you book making all this money, but like they don't think about what really go into it, the overhead and the reality of you can't do it all by yourself. And in the event that you got to, you might be mopping floors and washing walls and doing
Hmm.
everything. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want, I didn't just want to just generate that. But if people serious, I would, be down to mentorship or maybe like do an ebook or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
They said, can you list some reasons for the closings, the economy, the clientele, locations, etc.?
So, I mean, I can't because I'm still open. But I would assume the economy, maybe like the area location, the market. I'm not sure. Some people I feel like get in and just don't know what they're getting into or don't
Yeah.
really have it to sustain it. You know what I'm saying? To sustain that business. I'm
Hmm.
not sure. I haven't really asked. I don't want to put that spirit over my energy
No,
into
no,
my
no, no, no,
business. So I
no,
don't
not
know.
at all.
Yeah.
Um, my bad. Hold on. How did you go from starting to actually, I guess, building in the business?
I, I I literally just was. It was just kind of like going. I didn't really have a plan. Like I didn't set out a plan. Like, oh, I'm gonna do A, B, C, D. But it was just like I was doing all the different parts, and it just came together. And you learn as you go, And I'm not always doing everything right. Like it's it's times, I had the roughest, hardest time of my life, in 2024. And I just neglected my business for a long time. So I'm not saying I'm out here doing everything right, but you just learn as you grow and go and grow. And it's not just about being an event space owner. It's customer service, it's
Hmm.
business planning. It's a lot of different aspects of it. It's not just one thing. So you gotta have
Right.
the time too. Yeah. So you gotta
Mhm.
make the time to put into it.
Do you see event spaces as something that you can scale, make, have multiple locations?
You can. Yeah, if you want to do that, yeah, you can.
For sure.
You can though. You definitely can, and you can change your entry. You may rent for a while. You may lease a building for a while. You may want to buy one. You may want to
Hmm.
go bigger. You may want to go into a smaller niche space or something. But I think yeah, it's definitely room to scale, and it's people scaling out. I think Brittany about to open a second marinas. I think she just hinted at that. So, and I know Tamika about to expand on the Rose Room on Kelly. So it's definitely room to scale in the industry, and if you're in it.
Is that something you thinking about doing? Yeah.
Yeah, so I did. I want to buy, but I don't. I'm not right. I'm not right. I'm not right at this moment. I don't have it the
Yeah.
plan together. I'm not. I ain't really focusing on that right now, but that is a long term goal of mine, though.
Okay.
To just
Okay.
have own me a build, own my own building. Because I lease this building, but I got a great landlord, a good rate, enough space. I got storage downstairs, so like I ain't leaving here, but I do want to own my own building too. So and that just it's totally different too. That's another thing. When you're leasing and when you're an owner of a building and being in the venue industry, it's totally different. So I'm not an owner of the space. It's leasing, so it's a little different than owning. I know Ashley at 42nd Street, she went through a lot because she's an owner. So I do know that I do. I just want to put that out there that it's different ways in, but it's different terms and things that apply if you're an owner or you're leasing a building too.
Okay. Okay. They
Mhm.
said, can you elaborate a little bit on the startup costs? Like, if you could just, if you like some major things that you think that people
Um,
should,
So
think
it,
about.
it just depends. So for my building, because there was nothing in here, I had to consider the put in when I say nothing in here, I mean the building had brand new electrical, brand new heating, cooling, all of that, right? But it didn't have no drywall. It didn't have this storage room. It didn't have the kitchen. It didn't have two bathrooms. So my startup costs included all of that stuff, drywall and walls. And I'm gonna be completely honest, I used a lot of business credit to get the supplies. And I was blessed because my dad and my brothers are contractors and they've been fixing and flipping houses forever. So they literally did the work for me. So like that cut a lot of the real costs. You get what I'm saying? So this one I say it's hard for me to put a number on it for people because I didn't, I paid for all the supplies and things that we needed, and I would, get the money here, but they didn't send me an invoice for the services. Like if I would have, I paid, to get the drywall done. We had a Mexican crew come out do that. I paid the guy to do some to build the walls or whatever, but everything else in here, my dad and my brothers did. So
Mm-hmm.
that, how much money that probably would have costed me. So I don't want to give a realistic, a
Yeah.
number. And
Yeah.
then, granted, you might go into a space where you're about to lease a place, and they got everything you need. You just need to
Yeah.
paint,
Yeah.
add your little logo, get you some tables. So it just depends on the way you're going in. For me, I had to do all of this, and by pay for a sign outside. You have to pay for a sign. You're gonna have to get waste management services because you got to be able to have the trash go in and out. You gotta let's see what else. I'm just trying to think of the things like that you have to have: tissue, paper towel, cleaning supplies because you gotta make sure you sanitize and clean in between each event. And again, the tables and chairs if you don't have that. So you gotta have that stuff, and it just really depends on the location that you choose, how much you're gonna be starting with.
Mm-hmm.
So me, I
Same.
chose just like a long, big old space with nothing. So, but I was really blessed. Like I couldn't imagine how much I would have had to pay people to really do the work.
Right. Mm-hmm. I feel you.
'Cause
I
I
feel
did.
you.
They
Yes.
stressed me out. They stressed me out. But they got, woo, baby. That stressed me out. We was in here today, the day of my first event. It was a wedding. It was a wedding reception. Baby. All my siblings was in here sweeping. I was blowing up balloons. We was decorating tables. They was washing walls. It was a struggle, but like we got it done. We got it ready for them. They people was standing outside looking in the window like, dang. Ah, my sister and them, they got this running thing in my family. They call me Big Suge because I'm around
Mhm.
here like telling everybody what to do, like going crazy. But I'm really grateful like for my family because my brother, he helped with the setups, he do my cleaning. Then I got one of my brothers, he build all of my rentals. So like I have marquee numbers and champagne walls. So he build all of that stuff. And then my sister, she do like some graphics and some custom stuff. So it's like, we trying to
Right.
keep it
You
in the
gotta.
family, but I
I was
also know
gonna
a
say.
lot of different people in the industry too that I lean on for stuff. So blessed.
Yes, I was about to say keep it in the family for
For
real.
sure. Yes, my family, they do be coming through. And my family support me too. So I always say that like I get a lot of support. But you're gonna have to go outside your circle to make your business
For
thrive. You
real.
get what I'm saying? Especially this kind, you gotta, hit the neighborhoods, the neighborhood know what area you in, you gotta be on social media, you gotta talk about it. And it helps if you're actually already in the industry to kind of, people so they can refer you and stuff like that.
Yes, for sure. Definitely with any business that you gotta get out here, you gotta be talking and networking with people because it ain't always gonna be your family that
It's
support
not just gonna drop it. No, it's not. It's not. And it's not just gonna drop in your lap like, okay, today I'm
you.
doing this, but I ain't gonna tell nobody. And they go come over here and support you. How they know you doing it? You
Right.
have to talk. You have to market yourself for real. You do.
Yes. Okay. If someone is watching this and want to get started, what should they do after this live?
Inbox me. I just want to start. They should inbox me or start doing some research though. Like, yo, I know we got Google all day at the tip. Like, you literally have to do your research. Like, the market, the industry, the rules, laws, just looking at different events, just thinking about what you might want your event spaces, is thinking about what you might want yours to look like. You really got to just start putting it on your mind. So you can get on that computer or you can inbox me and I can help you along the way, I guess.
hmm
hmm
Do you want to leave the people with any information besides that?
If you can, I would appreciate you guys to go to my nonprofit page and make sure you support our mission. We are trying to get all the kids trained with safety, water and safety skills. So Andre Selden Jr. Foundation on Instagram. If you guys can support there and donate. And if you are interested in open event space, tap in with me. You can follow me
Yeah,
on Instagram or Facebook.
for sure. She about to get some classes started, y'all.
Yeah.
But no, thank you.
Maybe. Right. I might though. I'm willing to though.
Yes, thank you so much, Poppy,
You're
for coming
welcome.
on tonight and dropping all these
Thank you for
gems.
having me.
Yes,
Thank you
this
for
was
thinking
real
about me.
nice. This is real nice. And for anyone watching, if you missed part of this live, the replays will be on my community and a link in my bio. And thank you everyone for joining us tonight. Thank you again, Poppy, and see
You're
y'all later.
welcome. Thank you. See y'all
Have a good
later.
night.